Well, Mark, I just wanted to come by and see how things are going in the restaurant for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty happy with my managers. I just want to take it to that next level. What have you done to take that 90% to 98 or 100? What, you know, how have you gotten them more motivated? How have you gotten them to understand that those clean floors are, you know, they're important to you, but they're also important to the success of the restaurant, and for them to go to that next level, they need to be driving this. You know what I mean? How do you?
Yeah, that's difficult because motivating managers when it comes to little things like that is always challenging, and for each individual it's going to be different, and it's about establishing that relationship with them and understanding what really what's their motivation to come to work each day. You know, those little things do count, and you show that by acknowledging that, and as you see it, catch them doing something right. You know, I noticed for, you know, the first time you actually you did this, and you know you normally don't like doing it, and that's great, and so you reinforce the behaviors you want to see, but ultimately it's just about the relationship you have with them. And it can never be about the cookie cutter, this is how motivation works for one person or for, you know, people in general. It's about an individual. And, you know, are they having a difficult time in their life, or are they distracted, or are they really, you know, vested in their time in the restaurant? And making sure that it's not just something you look at for one shift, that it's something that you look at for 6 months with that one person.
When I was a manager, I wanted to be a partner. All right, when you were a partner, you wanted to be an area partner, a market partner. You had that internal drive. And I want managers working for me that want to be me, want my job, want my position. And I think that there are times that they're managers that don't necessarily want that. What I am challenged by is the individual that sits there and says, well, I'm completely happy. I'm making great money. I, you know, love my job, and I don't really care to work much harder. I mean, not that they come out and say that, but I can just sense that. I think that those are the challenging ones, because if you want my job and you want it bad enough, you're going to follow me around and see what I do and go, well, I better start doing that when he's not here. So when he walks in, all those things are done. I mean, that's what I do.
Ideally, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I think we all wish we could manage ourselves.
Yeah.
My role with Mark is difficult to summarize, but as a market partner and an operating partner, the key word is partnership. It always has been in this company, and that's the fact that we work together. Mark is a very motivated person already, but it's important for him, I think, to be acknowledged. I think it's important for him to know that he is empowered and trusted, and that, to me, as far as just supporting him, is keeping that passion alive in him, and that he is growing and developing as a person. And as he tries to face the challenges that go along with operating a restaurant, whether they be shift to shift or for trying to motivate his managers, it's just trying to support him in his goals and what he's trying to make happen at the restaurant here.
When I originally went into management back in 1997 for P.F. Chang's, I was very skeptical about taking a management position. I had a brother that's in management. He works for a number of other restaurants. He worked for himself. I was very skeptical, very anti-restaurant manager. I was doing very well as a server, had all the free time I wanted, and I just didn't want to do it. And finally, my friends, my family, everyone convinced me and said, this company is amazing. I can't believe you're not wanting to take that next step. And finally, I bought in, and I said, okay, I'll give it a try, and we'll see what happens. So I had never managed for another restaurant. I'd worked at a number of other restaurants, but I had never managed. But the minute I committed to P.F. Chang's was the beginning of my desire to become an operating partner. Because from the ownership side, to the financial side, to the ability to control my own environment, all those things appealed to me. It was, in essence, I was running my own business. However, there was a lot less risk involved with opening a restaurant. And that's what appealed to me. And the minute I bought into management is the minute I said, I really want to be an operating partner. And that became my central focus for pretty much my everyday actions at P.F. Chang's. I wanted to be that operating partner. I wanted that opportunity. I wanted the financial gains that come along with it. To be an operating partner at P.F. Chang's, the main purpose of the position, or the main job description, really in most restaurant concepts, would be general manager. What we do is facilitate all operations of the restaurant: hiring, R&M, payroll, anything along those lines. So we pretty much oversee everything that has to do with the operations of the day-to-day restaurant. At P.F. Chang's, the operating partner concept is a little different than most general manager positions, and that difference comes in we have an equity position in the restaurant. We are partnered with P.F. Chang's. That is the main difference of what we do compared to, say, someone in another restaurant. And with that comes obviously a higher level of responsibility and also a higher level of involvement, dedication, motivation, all those types of things. The great thing about the relationship is the majority of tasks that I do on a day-to-day basis, she's already done. The majority of things that challenge me or keep me focused or where I have opportunities, she's already gone through those opportunities. She's already had to go through those learning curves and spend the time learning how to do those things. And I think that's great because I don't have to ask a lot of questions. And she doesn't have to give a lot of answers because I'm learning those things as I go. And occasionally she'll step in and say, Mark, why don't you take a look at this? Here's how I used to do it. And it's not, Mark, the restaurant isn't working right, fix it. It's, here's how I used to do it, and it worked really well for me. I've been in your position. I've worn your shoes. I know what it's all about. I know what's possible and what's impossible. I know what's probable and what's likely. I know what your job entails and what we can do to make it more successful and what we can't do. And I think that that's the biggest things. I never wanted to work for a company where someone just came in and barked a lot of orders and then left, made everyone feel bad, and then of course I turn around and pass that wonderful joy of feeling bad down to my staff. And we've never been like that. That's never been part of our culture. And in my relationship with Roxanne, it's never creeped in whatsoever. It's always been very positive. Hey, nice job on these 3 things. Take a look at this. We might have some opportunities there. And because of the market partner, operating partner position and the way it's financially structured, the way it's structured from a company standpoint, when she says we may have some opportunities there, she means it. Because the opportunities of the success of P.F. Chang's China Bistro Peoria benefit her financially, benefit her in her career, and they also benefit me. So when I win, she wins. When she and I win, P.F. Chang's wins. And I think that that is the greatest part of the partnership perspective, because everybody wins. I am a big empowerment kind of person. I love to empower other people to go ahead and be themselves, show them the right path, show them the right way, show them, quite honestly, how that path, that way will make them very successful as well. I am not a very domineering, overbearing manager. I attempt to hire the right people and allow them to be successful in the environment. Show them how, if you do this and you follow this step and you go through this procedure and you smile and you give the guest the right away and you do all the things that make P.F. Chang's a great restaurant, you will be a great employee for P.F. Chang's. You will be very successful, financially rewarded. And I think that that's the biggest thing about my restaurants. I think my staff would tell you that they're very empowered, they're very encouraged to make decisions on their own. They feel like they have a sense of ownership in the restaurant because they've been able to make decisions that have affected the future of the restaurant and have affected what goes on day-to-day life. Our table chart at the beginning, this is before we were even open as a restaurant. We handed it out on the second day we were open, and the staff just freaked out about it. They thought it was the dumbest thing in the whole world. They were looking at how we had set up the table numbers. Well, we had done that 3 months ago, before we even had a restaurant. We didn't know what the restaurant was going to look like, and everybody was in such upheaval about it that we said, great, we'll go ahead and sit down and we'll rework it. Would this be easier? Would this be better? And it was at that moment, immediately, staff said, whoa, this is a little bit different than we thought. We weren't trying to make an impactful moment. We weren't trying to set real precedents there. We were just being honest and sincere in our motivation for them being successful in the restaurant. And if that made it easier, then their decision-making process was going to be the one I was going to lean toward, because I'm done serving tables. They're the ones doing it. If I want to ask, or if I want to improve on a position's productivity or their well-being in the restaurant, I'm going right to that employee. How do I make your job better? And I think that those are a lot of the decisions that we allow employees to make because they're the ones doing it. They're the people that are involved in it on a day-to-day basis, and having it be easier or simpler makes them happy, gives them ownership, makes them feel better about what they're doing. It might make their job a little bit easier.